everybody, it's Max and Lacey. This is one of the very first videos we wanted to start our channel off with. It's the story about how we met. We hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to take you back all the way to the very first time we saw each other.
Okay, so everybody always asks us who approached who first. Well, technically, I think I approached Max first. I had no idea who he was prior to that, but I was out with a friend. We were having a kind of girls' night out at Hop Dottie Burger Bar off Anderson Lane, which was at the time like one of my favorite places because
You're a burger freak, babe.
I used to be, not as much anymore, but definitely at the time. I love burgers, fries, and shakes a lot. So while we were there, I saw Max from afar. I saw like his tattoos and his just hair and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. And I told my friend, but I was like, I think he's probably like a jerk. He probably wouldn't, you know, like me, or he's probably got a girlfriend or something like that. He had like a more like resting.
I was angry.
Face.
I was really angry at work. I hated waiting tables. I've done so many jobs that just suck, and that was one of the ones that was one of the worst.
So basically, though,
I
he
was
looked
mean mugging.
unapproachable. Yeah, and I had actually come out of a really bad, negative relationship prior to that, and so I just wasn't in a place where I felt like striking up something with somebody new. But she went and gave me the nudge and said, no, you should talk to him, like he's gonna come over and talk with us. And
you didn't know that.
She told me, like she pushed me to do it. And
yeah, so this is where I think I came in. I think I came over first because, from my perspective, I was a waiter. I was just working that night, and I actually noticed Lacey too. So if you don't know anything about Hop Dottie, it's this burger place, but they make you stand in like this crazy long line before you order, and it like literally wraps even outside the building and sometimes around the building. And so I saw her standing in line. She was way like, she was good looking.
What?
But you had like, she had this platinum blonde hair, and she had
I was blonde.
She was all edgy. She was super edgy.
I'm still edgy.
I know you are, but she had this a Bring Me the Horizon shirt on, which was one of my favorite bands at the time. It's like a metal band if you don't listen to that kind of music. And I was just like, where did this girl come from? Like, I didn't know what was happening. But luckily, she ended up sitting in my section. So, you know, it could have been, it's crazy to think back now, like, she could have sat anywhere in the restaurant, but she sat at a table where I had to talk to her. And I don't know if I would have gone up to them and talked to them if she hadn't sat in my section. So that's just like one of those amazing things that I'm very grateful to God for, that she landed in my seat. But I went over, and then they had obviously been talking about me as well, and yeah. Lacey complimented me actually. That was one of the first things.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I had some courage after my friend, like, you know, hyped me up. But, I think I said, like,
you said I was pretty or something.
Like,
I don't know.
Pretty eyes or something like that. And then I basically just asked if he wanted my number, and I wrote, you gave me like your table card, and I wrote my number on that, and we actually still have that, and it's really special to us. But I remember being like on cloud 9 after,
me too.
Just after meeting each other. I mean, it sounds so like overdone, but it really is true. Like when you meet somebody that you just, you have this feeling. Yeah. And I felt
it's really exciting.
And even like my family noticed right away when I came home. I was beaming, and they were asking me all these questions. And what was funny is my parents at the time actually went back to Hop Dottie to see who I described. They were like, oh, this guy, right? And so they kind of spied on Max before he even knew them. When he came to pick me up for our first date, my mom, because I was 18 at the time, was like, well, who is this guy, and what does he do, and like, where does he live, and all that stuff. You know how mom bears are.
Yeah.
And we had plans to like go to like Mount Bonnell or something, and my brother was like, don't go to Mount Bonnell, because if you go there, like, you'll fall in love, you'll get married, which obviously ended up happening anyway. But Max actually drove all the way from like South Austin
Yeah.
to North, like which is far, in order to pick me up and meet my parents, and so he met my whole family
The first day.
on our first date.
Parents, grandparents, brothers, like I met the whole family the same day I met you, basically. It's so funny to think about.
My mom really was impressed with you for that, for like taking the time to drive and like being that classy and old school. I think that's very important to me, and just to her too. But that stood out to me instantly as well, like just coming from a woman's point of view, and what you're looking for is like someone that's willing to put in the extra effort. It's just indescribable.
Means you care.
It means a lot. After a first date, obviously, like, we were head over heels for each other from pretty much the second we met onward.
Yeah.
And
It was this, we were literally, like, I tell Lacey this all the time, and obviously you never tell somebody this, like when you first meet them, but I really, like, loved her right away. Like, there was no time between, like, dating and then like falling in love or what. It was weird. It was like literally like we met and I was in love with this person. So that was like the best part about it.
Your side. Let's share a little bit about
like a backstory
before we ever met.
So for me, before I knew Lacey, I hadn't dated in 2 years intentionally. So I had several, relationships in high school, and then a little bit out of high school, and it was also during a time where I was really struggling with drugs and alcohol, so I was not a healthy person, and I was not treating women right, I wasn't treating myself right, and so I kind of cut myself off completely from dating and relationships and all that, and really focused on just healing myself and becoming a better person for 2 years. And I decided that I was never even going to date again until I knew the person was like the one, or at least start a real relationship. Like, I would date, but I would never really commit time to somebody or decide that I want them to be my girlfriend or whatever until I knew that they were going to be like either the person I marry or close to the person I marry. And it ended up being Lacey was that for me after 2 years. Like, and that was a horrible 2 years. Like, I'll be honest, like, it sucked being single for 2 years. I know a lot of people, maybe you enjoy being single, but I don't. Like, I love being in a relationship. I always have. And it was difficult, but so worth it to be the right person for her and to be the right person for me too.
Yeah, when I heard that too, like, made it even more special. Like, I mean, the last thing you want is for somebody to treat it just as another relationship, and that's when I really knew that Max was serious about me too, like, to hear the backstory. And what's interesting about mine is, and I tell him this all the time, and I tell people we meet this, I actually had a list written out of all the things that I was looking for in, like, my future husband. And
when did you write the list? That's important.
I wrote this list when I was like 13 years old.
That's so crazy.
And it fits Max to a T. I wish I still had the list, but you can just take my word for it. I wrote like long dark hair and like green eyes, and I wanted muscles and tattoos, but not too many. And I wanted him to be funny and romantic and be able to pick me up and not to feel like heavy and like silly.
That's a good one.
And I wanted I also didn't care about him being tall, which he isn't, because I thought like sometimes more charming guys are the shorter guys because they gotta work more, you know.
That's true.
So I like the charm.
You gotta have a personality if you're short.
Very attracted to the charm. So anyway, I had this whole list, and after we had been dating for a little while, at first I was kind of skeptical because it seemed too good to be true. Like, I was really looking for, like, is this guy like a secret murder killer, like axe murderer person?
Appreciate that, baby.
Yeah, psychopath. You had like nothing on the walls and like
I was like, man, it was
you
rough.
were in a
It
different
was
time
rough.
where
Yeah.
you were really focused on becoming the man you were meant to be, and
Also, it was just broke too.
yeah,
It was
but
broke.
you were very focused. Like all you
Yeah.
did, like work and work out and like
Yeah.
all of that. So
True.
and play music and stuff. So, but that was the perfect time for us to meet. It really was like.
Yeah. Oh, I remember one thing I wanted to talk about in this video because I think a lot of people would find it interesting. Is I never, like, my first real dream was like to have the perfect wife. I know that sounds weird, but like a lot of people think like. They think that like and people who really know me, like people who know me from like way back know that I never cared about success or business or like I didn't care about any of that, and honestly that was still true even up until when we met.
Yeah.
And being with Lacey and having such a good relationship and a great connection and feeling like I had somebody that I was gonna live my life with, that actually opened up my mind to dream about new things like business and success, and like I never even thought about any of that. I was so focused on, and I'm sure
I
a lot
was
of
the same way. Like I was
Yeah.
like the girl that would like stare out the window and watch like the rain
Yeah.
like fall and like think
like,
about my
the
future
sad
love.
music in your
Yeah,
ear. Like,
so that was me, definitely. And I actually had like, this is very special to me, so I'm gonna share it with you guys. But I had visions of Max and I before we met, or like a dream state of like seeing us together, like special moments, like on the beach, and we've done that a lot.
Many
Like,
times.
we've had so many memories of that, and like just specific moments. So when we actually met, I felt like surreal, like a realization, like this is the person I'm meant to be with.
yeah, definitely.
But anyway, our relationship has been just beautiful and
Yeah,
has
it's
grown
the best part of
ever
our
since. God first, and then
We've
each
talked
other.
about this in our past video, but we tell it to everybody we know, is like the reason that we've been able to build things and have a good life is because we don't put those things above each other.
Yeah.
Like we make sure that because we're a team, we do everything together. Our
Yeah.
relationship is the backbone
And our
of our
relationship
business.
is 100% a gift from God. It was
Yeah.
nothing to do with us or our ability.
Yeah,
I feel His work through us, and like
absolutely.
we've let that channel be open for Him to use us and to bring us together, and not to
Yeah.
fight. And we really don't, like, we have a healthy relationship because we have God at the center.
Mhm.
It is not, we aren't greater than that.
No.
We come second, but our relationship is so important.
Yeah, we both view it as a gift directly from God, and also that the reason that we believe He wants us to be together is to serve Him. It's not
Yeah.
it's not like it's great that we get to enjoy our life together, but we
It's not
feel
just for that. It's for a greater purpose,
right.
and to give to others, and yeah, and it has been that. It has.
And it will always be that.
I still remember the moment, like Max and I had a conversation out at night, and there's like a street lamp above us, and he had asked me like, do you want to move in with me? And I said no, and I was like, I'm not gonna move in with someone, and like I'm so sensitive and sentimental, like, to tear your life apart. And like I just felt like that was
Yeah.
wrong unless it was the person that you were meant to be with.
She basically like put me on the spot and was like,
But not in a pressured
no,
way.
no, she didn't pressure me. She just was, she made it very clear that she didn't want to move forward unless I knew that it was going to be something more than what it was, which was boyfriend and girlfriend. And that made me actually think about it. I was like, yeah, I knew she was the one, like I said earlier.
And from that moment, we felt like married to one another. Like
Yeah.
that was like our
it was a
commitment.
It was a verbal commitment. Like honestly, like you can have a ring and not be committed. You can
Yeah.
do the ceremony and not be committed. But if you mean it, you mean it. I feel like your word should mean more than anything.
Yeah, the intention matters more than the actual act, right? Because
Yeah. There's still some of the best memories. Like before we had anything that we have now, we were really happy and really enjoying life.
we were happy. Like,
We were super happy.
we've always been.
And then I started to save up money because I was working a lot. There was nothing else to do, so I was just working. And I saved up $2,000. I still remember it because it was a lot of money for me at the time. I've never saved up any money before. And I was like, all right, babe, listen. We can either get you a tiny little $2,000 shitty ring. I kept it real. I wasn't like, you know what $2,000 will get us for a ring. Or we can go on an amazing Disney vacation that I know you want because you've been telling me about it every day for a long time. And so obviously she chose the Disney trip, and we just got like a little placeholder ring.
We went to Walt Disney World in Florida, and we went to all the parks, and it's still one of the best
trips we've ever done.
Memories of my life, like,
because that's where we got engaged. That's where I got down on one knee and did the whole
right
thing
in front of the
in front of everybody.
And there was actually like a photographer right there, so they got to shoot the whole thing, which was so cool.
Luckily, we got a good one too. So.
And I didn't even care that it was a mock ring. I just was so happy to have this like man in my life, and it was so magical. I was beaming again, like blushing, and like
still one of the best memories of our life. And I'm really glad, if you're out there and you're in a similar situation, I'm really glad we made that decision, because you can always buy a better ring, which we did, but you won't always be young and in so much love and be able to have that memory and like do that one. I'm just telling you, just do it.
Do it.
That was basically our how we met story. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And our wedding is actually coming up.
Yep, we're celebrating 5 years together next month.
At the time that we met, I was 18, you were 21.
21.
And now I'm 23 and you're 26. So
we've been together a long time. It's been the best 5 years of my life.
Mine too.
And I can't wait for our wedding. We're going to be doing tons of video for our wedding.
Yeah.
We're going to share it with you guys. We're going to be doing a dance. We're going to have the ceremony recorded.
Yeah, I think it's taken me a long time to like be brave enough to get on camera.
Right.
But I'm really excited that we're finally being able to share this with you. It's such a huge part of our story, and the more we share, I feel like it'll be like almost like that scrapbook where we'll get to look back at all these special moments.
Totally.
So
yeah.
I wish we had started sooner.
I know. I wish we had been able to share everything in between, but we're very excited to take you guys along this journey with us, and
thanks for watching.
Stay tuned for another one.